1,802 cubic centimeters or 110 cubic inches. No matter how you measure it, this is a substantial displacement for a horizontally opposed boxer twin engine. Two 107.1 millimeter bores firing left and right dominate the first few moments of your experience on BMW's R18 Cruiser, which BMW is apt to remind you this bike is Berlin built. The motorcycle fires to life, jumping to the left before settling into idle, rocking the bike side to side, cha-chung, cha-chung. The 225-pound chrome and aluminum living beast comes to life, breathing below and in front of you, just enough of a reminder to let you know you have over 95 horsepower and just over 103 foot-pounds of torque writhing between your legs. This experience is very much unlike any modern BMW, yes, somehow familiar because it's a true BMW, which is an ultimate riding machine. It's raw, bordering on unrefined while simultaneously being sublime in its nostalgic element, making a rider possible curious about machines we have only seen searching the internet for retro motorcycles from decades of our past. The R18 is BMW's second attempt at entering the cruiser market, and it was teased by the company for well over 2 years with a series of customs from builders around the world. And now the production version is here, and honestly, it is truly a thing of beauty. Customizable, articulate, and beckoning us to the iconic motorcycles of the past. Not often does a production motorcycle outshine concepts and sketches, yet from nearly every single angle, this is what the black and chrome first edition R18 does. From the long and perfectly proportioned black with white pinstripe fuel tank, to the massive engine adored with an equally massive 1800cc badge, to the shining exposed drive shaft, never have the motorcycle enthusiast experienced a machine where the form is such an integral part of the riding function. Clean lines and curves leave your eyes through the entire motorcycle's architecture, like a beautiful woman you fall in love with at first glance. The R18 is worth a long look. The double cradle frame's background matches the swing arm triangle, emulating a hardtail. Cables and wires are tucked away and are nearly unnoticeable. The engine shape is uncluttered. Throttle bodies, starter motor, sensors, ignition wires, even the spark plugs are all hidden away from the world. There's a bright and smooth chrome on the fishtail pipes and cylinder head covers, but not so much to remove focus from the classical black shape of the R18, and its deep glossy black pulls your gaze in like you're staring into your future, because if you're watching this, there's a chance this motorcycle is going to be your next major purchase. BMW also designed the R18 to be easily customizable, not only with BMW's own parts already available, but those currently available in the aftermarket. Therefore, many of the most commonly changed parts like handlebar risers, foot controls, gas caps are interchangeable with American cruisers. The strategic decision immediately opens up the marketplace for buyers looking to change up the look of their German cruiser. No waiting for designing, testing, and manufacturing. You just get the parts and have a ball. The largest boxer twin ever designed and manufactured by BMW, the R18's engine, is 21.5 inches tall and 24.7 inches long. Watermelon-sized air and oil-cooled cylinders, and 4 valve heads punch out to the sides proudly. In viewing the bike from the front, BMW's propeller logo has never been so apropos. A duo of chrome tubes nestled with the cooling fins of each cylinder, providing the path for push rods actuated by dual camshafts, working rockers to open the pair of 42.2mm intake and the 35mm exhaust valves. 3 main bearings support the longitudinally mounted crankshaft, one being the 180-degree rod journals. This increases the offset between the cylinders, the left forward of the right, and imparts the classic vibration exhibited by non-counterbalanced boxers of yesteryear, like the R5 for example. Only the R18 is greater due to the wider separation of the connecting rods by the center bearing. Add to this the strong flywheel effect that amplifies the R18's left to right shake at idle, and it's pure cruiser. And like old-time boxers, there is no balanced shaft in this engine. BMW's engineers wanted you to feel the flywheel effect and a strong engine pulse, which is an awesome design perk. With such a large engine, perhaps power cruiser level of horsepower and torque are expected, but this wasn't the goal in going big. BMW aimed for friendly, ample class competitive power, not drag strip dominance. horsepower. Torque is plentiful from idle. More than 95 feet of torque is available at 1750 RPM, and a peak of 103.1 was recorded when the bike was dynoed at 2880 RPM. Peak horsepower 81.3 is achieved at 4800 RPM, and this is an engine that prefers to lope rather than gallop. Both power delivery and higher RPM engine vibration ask the rider to short shift and use torque rather than revs. And vibration is prominent when trying to make time on the R18. Beginning just at around 3500 RPM and continuing through 4500 RPM, the engine is a buzz bomb in the 1000 RPM range. Mirrors can blur, your fingers will vibrate, and lower portions of your body will tingle. Thankfully, at 80 miles per hour in 6th gear, revs just sit below the vibration threshold, meaning you can go fast. Maximum engine speed is stated at 5500 RPM, and when ripping through the gears, you pass through the vibration range pretty quickly, but it is always very present when riding more aggressively. Rock and roll are your ride mode selections for sunny days. A rain mode is also available. Throttle response is sharper and power comes on stronger at the bottom in rock. It also provides an idle that makes you feel the engine more. Roll smooths out the idle a bit and is more relaxed on low-end delivery with less aggressive throttle response and torque delivery. Rain mutes engine characteristic and response to slippery conditions. Also tied to the modes are ASC, Automatic Stability Control, and MSR, Engine Drag Control. ASC is BMW's traction control, and it is possible to slightly break the rear tire loose under hard acceleration and rock. Roll is all forward movement without slip, and Rain is extremely conservative about wheel spin. MSR controls rear tire sliding on deceleration when traction is too low for the rear tire back torque to engage the slipper clutch. Heading around the bend on the R18 is more rock than roll. The long, low chassis limits cornering clearance of any form of non-cruising pace cornering will be met with peg feelers, a sparking on these mid-mounted controls. Heating those big yellow signs with numbers on them before the corner is enough to keep grinding to a minimum. Turn in at speed is light despite its 790-pound weight, 32.7 degrees of rake, 5.9 inches of trail, and 68.1-inch wheelbase. Parking lot maneuvering, however, reveals nearly every pound of that weight thanks to the wide bars that makes full lock turns a stretch. While the torque effect of the engine just adds another challenge to the slow speed balance equation as it rocks the chassis, the optional reverse assist included in the $1,500 premium package is easy to use and helps out quite a bit with tight parking maneuvers. Although once reverse is engaged, the bike can't be pushed forward, so you have to shift in and out of the gear if you're going to make multiple cuts. All of these things said, numbers don't matter on this motorcycle, not even the one on the side of the engine. What matters is the experience, how you feel. The riding experience is curated and it's cool. Nowhere near the dyno and hundreds of quarter miles from the drag strip. Riding down I-10 in the early morning hours here in Katy, Texas, looking down and seeing one of the cleanest motorcycle cockpits to ever fill a frame, and there's no need to rush. There's no reward in that. See, the Rigment Pulse and soundtrack of the flat twin combined with the time to enjoy the stripped down ride, that's the payoff. There are other cruising motorcycles that deliver experiences over performance. The seat and higher RPM engine vibration and bumps, and an otherwise resplendent road, missing notes in a symphony. BMW aimed nearly a century of engineering, technology, and design heritage at simplicity instead of speed or outright technical competence. And when you get down to the nitty-gritty, they succeeded on every level in its goal. Right now, West Motoplex has a couple of R18s available. What I'd like you to do, if you're interested in adding this motorcycle to your collection, give our BMW expert Rich a call. The number's 281-392-8852. Rich is not just our expert here in our store, but he's also an owner of BMW motorcycles. Guys, on behalf of West Motoplex, I'm Wants. I appreciate you making it to the end of this video. Have a great day, and if you have a chance, give us a like on the video. See you next time.
I rode my first motorcycle when I was about 5 or 6. The motorcycle's a lot of things for me. It's definitely a form of therapy. You can kind of just shut off life for a little bit and get out of your head and just really enjoy yourself on the bike. In the spirit of craftsmanship with the R18, it's still that boxer motor feeling that's always going to, be there. It's always going to be something that you enjoy. A lot of classic cues just within the motor itself, but a lot more range of power. That's one of the things that I've always loved about BMW motorcycles. They're really clean and simple machines, but they found the perfect balance of both function and design. It reminds us that true icons resist time. Never forget your roots.
Hi, I'm Tobias Licht. As a big motorcycle fan, I was really overwhelmed when BMW asked me to host this video. They asked me to show you everything about the one and only R18. And these are real beauties. The R18 is the new sovereign cruiser of BMW Motorrad with the biggest boxer engine ever in the history of the brand. It's a modern premium product with historic roots, perfectly engineered, with design being the leading factor. Built in BMW's main plant in Berlin, Germany, it is an authentic cruiser to decelerate from your daily routine, to express your personality and enjoy beautiful rides. Let's have a closer look to every detail of its self-confident appearance. Modern technology and a classic, timeless look offers a cruiser-adequate experience. What you see at first sight, the design of the R18 is very pure and clean. The stance of the R18 is long and low. The engine is the pulsating heart and very distinctive. It comes easily to your mind that this bike is very much inspired by our very first bikes back in the days. What you can see at first glance are the so-called 5 icons. The teardrop tank, the black paintwork with white double pinstriping, the duplex cradle frame, the open shaft drive, and for sure, the engine, which we're going to talk about in all its details in a second. It was very important for BMW to use all these 5 icons in their today's R18 to show their genes. Now, as we talked about the bike's proportions and the 5 icons, there are a few other characteristic features we should not forget. Like, for example, the bodywork of the bike. As it is typical for a cruiser, it is made out of high-value metal. This includes the tank, the front and rear fender, the side covers below the rider's seat, the, as I think, very beautiful covers around the telescopic fork, as well as the housing of the headlight and the speedo. Let's have a closer look. It is a classic speedo with an integrated display and large, well-readable figures. And not to be missed, the beautiful lettering, Berlin built. The R18 furthermore has spoke wheels and this fishtail exhaust as standard. But there is even one more thing that shows BMW's attention to detail. It's very well thought out and special for this bike. The new design key of the R18, which has the same shape as the iconic tank. BMW wanted to build a cruiser which is obviously a true BMW, that already excites you from a distance because of its presence and coherent proportions. Now, let's talk about the engine. It's an 1802cc boxer engine, the absolute heart and highlight of the bike. BMW is building boxer engines now for 100 years, and that's the heritage. And this is why BMW knew from the beginning that for the R18, a boxer engine is a must. Before we talk about its specs, please have a look at how beautiful this boxer engine looks. I got told from the BMW guys that next to its power, it was one of their foremost priorities to make the engine very appealing. It should be a masterpiece of a design sculpture. Have a look at the valve covers, the push rods, the built-in front plate. It worked out pretty well, I'd say. And now the specs, where BMW for sure allowed no compromises. The engine has a displacement of 1802 cc shared on 2 air and oil-cooled cylinders. The power output is 67 kilowatts, so 91 horsepower at 4,750 RPM. From 2,000 to 4,000 RPM, more than 150 Newton meters of torque can be called up at any time, and original pulling power goes hand in hand with voluminous sound. Talking about the sound, let me show you what I mean. Can you hear it? Right, that's a very authentic, very deep and emotional, typical Boxer sound. From hearing to feeling. To really appeal to all senses, the haptics are new. Whatever you touch or hold, you will not let go. Everything is in its place. Intuitively, you get used to the bike. Cruiser typically massive, the bike surprises you with its great weight balance. After you have pressed the starter button, you want for sure to experience riding the R18. Of course, BMW still took very well care of the ergonomic triangle between seat, footpack and handlebars. The advantage of this so-called mid-mounted footpack position is that you have an upright, active seating position which offers long-term comfort and safety. Moreover, the available options and accessories for the R18 offer a wide range of parts to individually optimize the ergonomics, like different handlebars, seats, etc., which I will show you later. The new BMW R18 comes with full LED as standard. About optics and safety, a new developed distinctive LED headlight with optimized dimmed light and full beam. The R18 front indicators are adjustable, for example, for a customized handlebar. As well, important for increased safety is the daytime running light function. The rider chooses between manual or automatic switching. With the Headlight Pro option, the standard LED headlight will be extended in its functionality by an iconic design element and adaptive cornering light. This iconic LED graphic in sickle shape imparts the characteristic BMW Motorrad heritage look to the R18 and gives it a maximum recognition factor. Headlight Pro was also extended by, in this segment, unique adaptive cornering light. It works by means of a leaning angle-dependent connection. Separate LED elements in the main headlamp with own reflectors are providing light at a wider angle. This is great as you have much better light conditions whenever you lean into a turn. For the rear, there are new designed LED indicators with integrated rear light functionality. They ensure an unmistakable and emotional appearance from all perspectives. The dynamic brake light ensures safety. The R18 comes with 3 ride modes as standard: rock, roll, and rain. The modes offer the rider individual adjustment options relating to road conditions and own riding behavior, so you determine the fine-tuning of your bike. Roll offers you an easy, cool, relaxed riding with all the performance if you want. The rock mode is the one where you get more instant throttle response, very instantaneous. It gives you direct feedback. And the rain mode is great for safety if you should come into rainy weather. The traction control ASC comes as standard with the new R18. That's special in this segment, as the peak torque of 158 Newton meters must be under control whether the road is dry or wet. Notice, it can be switched off, so burnouts or donuts are possible. The response is linked to the chosen ride mode. The engine drag torque control, called MSR, prevents electronically the sliding of the rear wheel by sudden closure of the throttle or back spacing. And the anti-hopping clutch opens at a given barrier to prevent stamping of the rear wheel. The R18 models are equipped with the reliable BMW Motorrad part integral ABS. With this brake system, both front and rear brake are activated with the handbrake lever. The foot brake lever only activates the rear brake. The BMW Motorrad integral ABS balances the brake force between front and rear brake when braking, depending on the load of the motorcycle. Individualization, a very important topic BMW took very serious. As you can see, BMW has been putting a lot of attention to detail and the ability to enable easy modification. This includes, for example, the choice of materials, nuts and bolts, the weld seams, the hiding of wiring and plugs, as well as the gap between tank and engine. You can also individualize the metal housing of the headlamp, for example, or the cylinder head covers and benches. There are, of course, many options to mix and match all these pieces to customize the R18 to your personal taste. But let me show you these two examples of how you can individualize your bike as a first inspiration. The R18 has been developed and designed for easy customizing. It's very easy to change many different pieces, like for example, lights. The metal housing and chrome ring are independent from the electronics, the perfect base for customizing. The wide range of different parts from the original BMW Motorrad accessories enable individual conversions that significantly change the character of the bike. Also, BMW selected some of the segment's premium key players as co-branding partners to benefit from the expertise of experienced manufacturers in the cruiser customizing scene. Following the successful cooperation with Roland Sands Design in connection with the BMW R90 model range and the corresponding accessories, the partnership will continue for the R18 model range. In cooperation with Roland Sands, there will be two different design collections of various covers and mounted parts for the launch. Machined parts made of high-quality aluminum with an attractive contrast between black and silver thanks to a special milling process. BMW also works together with Vans and Heinz and develops exhaust pipes for an exclusive and individual custom look. Available in two color variants, chrome and black. Mustang is known in the USA for high-quality individual seats. So when it comes to R18 seats, Mustang is BMW's partner and offers high quality in different versions. Single seats, two-seater, with or without backrest, and also in different color variations like black and brown. Also, you can find a co-branding via embroidered BMW propeller on each seat. This customized bike reminds me of the historic BMW R5. So let's talk about the highlights on this stunning bike. First of all, the beach bar style handlebars and the solo seat. Also, what I really like is the number plate carrier on the side. And then, of course, all the machine parts. The fork legs, including end caps. The handlebar, including hand levers. The mirrors. The expansion tank and brake fluid cover. The fuel filler cap. The engine housing cover. The cylinder head cover, and the rider's footboard. Coming to the second customized bike, you can see here, what a stunner. The black ape hanger handlebar, the black two-tone style parts like the headlight cover, the speedometer housing, fork leg, end cap and leg cover, the clamping block, and adjustable hand lever again, the mirrors, the expansion tank cover in the front, the lockable fuel filler cap, the engine housing cover, the cylinder head cover, the rider's footboards, and the front wheel and rear wheel. Also not to forget the cool custom single seat and the tapered black rear silencer. Well, what a huge amount of information, right? Now you know this bike inspires everyone who's looking for the ability to modify its individual motorcycle. It's still what you expect from a BMW motorbike. A perfectly engineered premium product with the design being the leading factor. If you want further information about these models, please follow the links provided in the video description. And if you liked this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for our social media channels to ask questions and give your opinion. I hope you enjoyed the overview I've given you. Now, find your favorite and then see you on the road.